Two fat guys after dark. Wouldn't that just be light? I think they always call the lightness at after dark. Wouldn't that just be morning? Hey, it's bright and sunny and family friendly.
I suppose, but it could be short for after dark falls, like after it becomes dark.
That makes sense. I didn't even consider that.
But yeah, they don't really make that clear, so I guess.
So fuck you guys.
Our new morning show?
Two
fat guys in the morning after dark.
Hey, we're two fat guys.
And we just watched Dr. Giggles.
And?
Virus.
Appropriate titlings.
It's always the second one that makes me sad.
It's true. We're probably going to continue that practice.
Yeah, I think that's going to be true.
Hellboy. The second Hellboy is actually rated higher than the first Hellboy on IMDb.
Is it really?
I enjoy them both, though.
Yeah,
we'll get to that. This is not about Hellboy. This is about Virus and what's the first one?
Dr. Giggles.
Dr. Giggles, okay. They're not really that connected. We just happened to watch them. They were two back-to-back sort of standalones, and they weren't Tank Girls, so they didn't warrant their own video.
Yeah, but they're horror movies, and so
yes.
that kind of ties them together. But
so let's go for Dr. Giggles.
Dr. Giggles, I was not anticipating. I had very low expectations.
Yeah, and I was actually fairly entertained.
Oh yeah,
like about as well as I could in a slasher film. It was sort of a self-referential. It wasn't like Scream, where like actively talking about tropes, self-referential. Mm-hmm. But it was very like, okay, we know slasher flicks are kind of cheesy and
it was self-aware. It was like kind of a wink and a nod.
Yeah, and
it knows what it is.
And man, they did every Doctor pun they could.
Oh yeah,
and as a self-acclaimed pungent master, I was a fan. It was fantastic.
Yeah, so like there's the cast is there's no one to really write home about.
There's Sash Guy.
Yeah, the guy who plays Sir Warwick Harrow, I believe his name is, the Lord with the sash in
Firefly.
The Shindig episode of Firefly was Dr. Giggles.
Did a good job. It was creepy, good giggle, really good giggle.
Oh man,
like you kind of need it for being Dr. Giggles. I don't know why I was surprised, but I really enjoyed his giggle. It was so good that I wasn't like, oh, he's giggling again.
Yeah, like it had this. It almost had a good depth to it because there is a lot to that character, strangely enough. Mm-hmm. Like he's a psychopath and he's not really a redeemable story thing, but
yeah, man, can we talk about young him and how creepy that was?
I don't want to. I can't. I've not steeled myself to talk about that.
Okay,
yet.
So let's talk about it all him still.
Yeah, so there's him. There's Glenn Quinn, who was Doyle in the first season of Angel. A lot of people probably know him from that. And Holly Marie Combs.
That's why you were talking about him. I remember you bringing up him, and I'm like, why are we talking about him right now?
Do you know that was
I literally didn't connect it until just this second.
Well, he's also not speaking in his Irish accent, so
yeah, and you even talked about that. You even brought that up. That's why.
Yeah, that's why I was bringing that up. You were like, "The fuck is Sam talking about?"
Yeah, that's probably why I seemed a little hostile when you were bringing that up. In case you're
wondering. I was like you usually.
Because I was
so angry about my random bits of trivia. That
I would have enjoyed that if I had been paying attention to any actor that wasn't Dr. Giggles.
Yeah, Holly Marie Combs is from Charmed, but yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and this was what, 92 or 93, early 90s.
Dougie Doug.
Dougie Doug.
Dougie Doug.
Shit. Yeah, you're right. Dougie Doug is in it.
We won't see until our Cool Runnings marathon, where we just watch Cool Runnings 20 times in a row and talk about it in between each time.
That'll be a great marathon.
Cool Runnings still good.
Yeah, but so it's a real typical slasher fic. I mean, there's this young kids and they go to this house and then they die and then he just decides to kill more people. Like the plot of that is not.
Yeah, like the motivation for this guy to be a psychopath and a serial killer is not that bad. But the motivation to do the things he does in the film are not really there.
Right.
Because he has this great backstory where his mom's heart failed, so his dad, this doctor, became obsessed with getting her a heart.
And so he started killing people.
Yeah, because back then heart transplants were a thing, so he started killing people and stealing hearts, killing his patients on purpose to take their hearts. And like his son just sort of learned that way, and like a lot of really fucked up stuff. And then he's in this mental institution, he escapes, and then really for no reason other than he's just a crazy person, he decides to kill these teens and take their hearts out, and
yeah, he's trying to like finish the job, but
yeah, and they happen to find this one teen girl with heart problems. And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to give you a new heart," which is weird.
Yeah, so its
plot is about it's not as well thought out as some things. I mean, Halloween doesn't have a whole lot of motivation other than Michael Myers. It's killing people on Halloween.
But yeah, those puns were. At first, when they first started, I was like, okay, I know what this is going to be. It's just a bunch of doctor puns. But then it came back around very fast.
Yeah.
By like the second or third pun.
Because they were just so convicted to it, and they were 100% serious, and they're like, we are committed to doing this, and I hope you're committed to watching. And just that sort of honesty with the puns made me appreciate it, and I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm on board with this.
Yeah, that, but easily one of the most disturbing scenes.
Yeah, was this...
That.
Because you get flashed to the backstory, like you do in these things. Like, okay, here's a little flash from his child, then you get a little later, and the last one was this grizzled old cop telling sort of why he's been so weird the whole movie.
Yeah, because the big mystery of this guy, of this character, is when this old town's fable of the doctor, when the police raided the house, they never found the kid.
Like they killed the dad, and they never found the kid.
Yeah, so he disappeared, and this one cop knows what happened, and. The dad had smuggled the kid out in the corpse of the mother.
And like opened up the mother, taken out the organs, put the kid inside, and sewn him up, and like gave the kid a scalpel. So it's in the morgue, and this like young cop's walking around, and
then just hears the giggling.
Just kid giggling is way creepier.
Oh God! Yeah.
And then slices open this very bad-looking dummy of a dead woman.
Yeah, but it's still creepy.
Yeah, and then he crawls out like covered in blood, and he's just like laughing. And
the guy laughing, and the cop is.
And the cop just passed out.
Understandably, just like his brain fries. You can kind of.
At a certain point, I was screaming at the screen, "Shoot him to death now!" Obviously, this is the devil.
Yeah.
But he just passes out, which I can understand. You know what? My brain might go, you know what? You can't handle this.
That and also the young cop had been drinking as well, so he was just can't handle that. Mm-hmm. So that was a genuinely terrifying moment.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought it would be too campy to have any like really good, creepy, horrifying moments. And
it was just
that did it. The rest of it was just sort of your normal horror slasher. I can't be killed. I can't be killed. And take forever to kill him. And he comes back 12 times. But overall, like not a bad movie. If you're into slasher flicks, I definitely recommend watching it.
Oh yeah, because I'm pretty much again, like I don't care for slasher films, but I still had a good time watching.
This one's pretty interesting from a comics perspective of doing this marathon because it was sort of released simultaneously with the comics, kind of like a 2001 deal where they were developed. Not that it means anything to you, but they were developed sort of simultaneously. So like the writer, when the first issue came out, it's like Chapter 1 of 3 of the prequel to the upcoming motion picture Dr. Giggles. So it was in comics first, but it was planned as this sort of Dark Horse movie thing.
Yeah,
so.
And I think it was still a Dark Horse production. Like,
and it was their first movie, so that's kind of bold. Like they didn't even take one of their established characters. Like we're gonna make this horror flick. This guy gave us a script. It's pretty good. We're gonna do a couple comics, and we're gonna make a movie out of it.
Was this one first?
Yeah, it was the first one.
Wow. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, the other movies I thought Barbed Wire feels like a 70s movie to me.
But it's not.
It's sadly not.
Yeah. So that's about all we got to say.
Yeah, that's that. And then moving on to Virus, a movie that I actually had more expectations for. It had Jamie Lee Curtis, Donald Sutherland's in it. Mm-hmm.
One of the Baldwin's in it.
Everyone's favorite Billy Baldwin.
Mm-hmm. For me, it's Stephen Baldwin or go home.
Yeah.
But
Can't wait for our Biodome marathon.
Yeah, I can't wait. This movie, as we've sort of had come up a couple times in the marathon, the worst thing a movie can be is not bad, it's boring.
Yeah.
And this movie, while I can't say was like just glaringly like you don't know how to make a movie bad, it was just boring. I felt no connection to the characters, I felt no connection to the threat, I felt no connection to the plot, I felt no drive to get there, no through line. It was just things happening and me just waiting for it to be done.
Yeah, that's a great way to sum up that movie. I agree.
And even, I'm even okay with kind of the premise. Well, first off, it's a comic book movie, and you get this space station, and like weird space electricity comes at you.
Yeah, so it's Fantastic Four.
We're like, oh sweet, Fantastic Four is going to happen. That'll be fun. Dark Horse version of Fantastic Four. And then apparently it just beams some sentient like electricity computer program from space down to this one submarine for some reason, not like
ship. The Russian,
yeah,
like science vessel.
Science vessel, which I don't know why any other like science facility wasn't also getting that signal, but anyways. So this robot virus takes over this and like, well, you see that happen. You see like this electricity storm, and then like cuts away to these Americans. And they find this, like, abandoned vessel, and they go on board, and they find, like, one survivor, and she's like, we killed the power, the machines came to life for killing us. Like, yeah, right, crazy lady.
Yep, better turn on all the power.
Yeah, turn on all the power, the machines come to life, and it starts building shitty Terminators.
Yeah, and, like, parts of people and
Yeah,
other machines. And spoiler alert, humans are the virus.
Yeah, he's like, you are the virus.
It's like, you humans are killing the planet
and there's some setup where like they release gas and they light a spark and fly away on a rocket and blow it up. So humans, it's just, it's bad.
It's real dumb.
It's real dumb, but like the exception of we got to make a bunch of Baldwin jokes, which we did just sort of occupy ourselves, and the occasional that guy. There were one or two that guys. I was like, hey, it's that guy. But then they did terrible things, so I felt bad for them. I'm like, man, even as a that guy deserves a better role than this.
Yeah, it's...
You can see Selena's just knocked out from how boring it was. Selena just... she's lost the will to be awake and adorable. And now she's asleep and adorable.
Yeah, so I can't recommend Virus for really any reason.
Unless you're like us and you need to check off these lists in your brain because you're weird people and that's how you function. And you need to watch all the Dark Horse films because you've done it with other things. Don't.
Yeah, other than that, skip that. Dr. Giggles, if you like slasher films, give it a shot.
Or if you like, if you're fine with puns and you're bored and you got nothing else, that one is it's not so slashery that like you need to love slashers to get it. Because like you said, you don't really like slashers, but you were still able to enjoy yourself sitting there watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dr. Giggles, okay. Virus, no way. If you're thinking about watching Virus, don't.
Not even once.
Not even a bit.
So next up, though, I'm pretty excited. We're watching Tank Girl.
We're watching the shit out of some Tank Girl.
I remember this as a kid, and I loved it. It's like 90s cyberpunk, not cyberpunk, but future punk, and like there's kangaroos that are like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I'm all for all of that.
It's like a zanier Road Warrior with that girl from A League of Their Own.
Yeah. So, really looking forward to that. So that's coming up next. So, see you on the other side. Hang on during my exit words. That's real professional.
Good night and good luck. That's the way the cookie crumbles. I got my eye in the sky reminding you to be the miracle. I'm Chevy Chase, and you're not.
Brandon, you ignorant slut.